Welcome to your MFR and YIN class today. So you are going to need all your normal YIN supplies. I've got a bolster, some blankets, and some blocks. But you're also going to want your MFR balls. What we're going to do today is release a certain area with the MFR, so releasing the fascia and getting the joints primed, and then going into our deep, long-held stretch for YIN. So we're going to start from the bottom up. So we'll work from our feet to our head. So I invite you to start with one of your myofascial release balls. And if you'd like to take this more passively, you can have a chair or work near a wall where you can just use it as support for balance. Otherwise, I'm going to invite you to place the ball of your foot on your myofascial release ball with the heel staying on the floor. And we're just going to windshield wiper the foot gently side to side. So not really trying to get a deep tissue massage here, really just trying to nourish and rehydrate the tissue. So find a gentle amount of weight or a gentle amount of pressure pushing into the foot where your toes can still be really soft and relaxed. So if you notice the toes are like really tight and gripping around the ball, just really let that be passive, let the toes relax, and really just approach this with that aspect of hydrating the tissue. And just really try to find from the big toe all the way over to the little toe, just right along the ball of the foot. And if it slowly starts to creep away from you, just readjust, bring it back in, and then come back to that. We're going to come into the arch of the foot, so right above the heel. I know it's hard to tell, but it's not really on the heel yet, but it's right in front of the heel. And again, we're just going to find that gentle windshield wipering side to side. So if you have any plantar issues or anything, this might feel really nice. And again, just with that aspect of rehydrating and nourishing, so not digging in, but really letting this be like maybe 60 to 70% of your capacity. Just take a moment. Notice how it feels in the bottom of the foot. Again, notice the toes. If they feel really like active, kind of let them be soft. And if the ball starts to slowly creep away, just readjust, bring it back in. Make sure you're getting the inside arch as well as the outside blade edge of the foot, so you're really spanning across the entire center of the foot. And then we'll do the same thing with the heel. So place the ball of the foot and your toes on the floor. And place the ball right where the heel ends. So not back here like on the bony part of the heel, but right before it becomes the arch. And then again, find that gentle windshield wipering of the foot. And we're just trying to wake up these communication receptors. Finding that gentle cross fibering, moving across side to side. And then slowly release, and we're just going to come right into the other side. So again, starting with the ball of the foot, and then just moving from the pinky side of the foot to the big toe side. Putting just a little bit amount of body weight, but not really leaning, not trying to press our entire body weight onto the ball. Find a breath to support you here. And that should feel really nice along the bottom of the foot. If the ball starts to creep away, just bring it back and then start again. And then we're going to move more towards the arch of the foot. And again, find that gentle windshield wipering. And trying not to just stay right in the middle, but really lean to the outside edge of the foot as well as the inside edge of the foot, so you're getting those arches as well and the blade edge. And then slowly just transition now to right where the arch and the heel come together. So not on that back bony part of the heel, but really still somewhat in that soft tissue. And again, trying to get all the way from the inside of the foot to the outside of the foot. And keep adjusting as needed if the ball is moving away from you. Take one more there. And then slowly release. We're going to come into broken toe pose. We'll only be here for about 60 to 90 seconds. So go ahead and come from standing. Make sure the pinky toe stays tucked under as well as you start to lower the knees towards the floor. Maybe you stay leaning more forward. What we want to really find here is the stretch through the entirety of the bottom of the foot. So play around with how much weight you'd like to put into the stretch. Maybe you stay more forward. Maybe you sit more upright. Again, just find a sensation that you'll be able to stay still, relatively still, for about 90 seconds. So go ahead and settle in and then start to bring that awareness to your breath. Obviously, the more you sit upright, the more intense the stretch will be. The more you have some hands or arms on the floor, a little less intense. We're here for a significant amount of time considering the intensity of the posture, so I invite you to really settle into that stillness. Really bring your awareness to your breath. So 30 more seconds. Keep bringing that awareness to your breath. Take 2 more breaths here. One more breath here. And then as you release one foot, then the other foot. Just take a moment, sit back into child's pose. Might be nice here to grab that bolster to keep your chest kind of upright and just release through the feet. Take a moment to bring your awareness to the bottom of the feet and to the toes. Notice how that feels, that gentle release. And bringing that awareness back to your breath as you just kind of take a moment to check in and see how you feel. And take one more breath here. And slowly press yourself up. Go ahead and grab one block and one of your myofascial release balls, and we're going to move up into the calves now. So I invite you to orient the block where it has the longest amount of space, so we can really target the entire calf, and then place the ball right there. Now what we're going to want to find here is kind of where that meaty part of the calf and the Achilles meet. So you're not in the biggest meaty part of the calf, but you're right below that gastrocnemius. And then you can just allow yourself to sit and just use the arms to rock yourself back and forth. If you want a little bit more intensity, I'll invite you to place the other foot on top and then come back to the rocking. But again, we're not looking for a lot of intensity with the MFR today. We're really just looking to target that superficial layer, the one that's connected to the skin, and just to really encourage that imbibing or that rehydration of the tissue. And so we're only moving up and down maybe an inch, so it's not really even a huge movement. And then go ahead and hold, and we're just going to point and flex the foot. So right now we're pinning down the tissue by holding it in the compression, and then we're moving the body around the ball instead of moving the ball around the body. And if you're a runner, a cyclist, or you do a lot of explosive movement, the calves might be really tight. Soleus, that deeper layer, the gastrocnemius, the larger calf muscle. So if it's a little too intense, sit a little bit more back. And if you need a little bit more intense, sit a little bit more upright, leaning a little bit more weight into it. So again, just listen to your body and what feels good. We're going to do a little cross fibering, so just gently rocking side to side. Not so much that the leg falls off the prop, but just enough to feel that going against the grain of the tissue. And then we're going to do that exact same series now, but in the meaty part of the calf. So that big head part of the calf, kind of right in the middle of the lower leg. And then again, just gently rocking back and forth. Let your feet be soft, let your toes be soft. So if you feel like you're really active here, let that go. Relax through the quadriceps and the hamstrings. We're really using just kind of this rocking back and forth. Now, you're in charge, so if you'd like to add your other leg on top, or if you'd like to lift your hips and really put some body weight into it, feel free. And then go ahead and hold in that stillness. We're going to pin the ball down underneath the tissue and just point and flex the foot. Now the ball is staying still and we're moving just the skin around it. And again, if it's too intense, lean back a little bit, take some body weight out of it. And if you need a little bit more, sit a little bit more upright. And then we're just going to hold and find that gentle cross fibering, rocking side to side laterally this time. It's a little tender for me. So if it's tender, bring that awareness back to your breath. When we tense up in these releases, it kind of defeats the purpose. So as much as you can, try to soften. And then slowly release. Take just a moment, extend both legs out straight. And we're going to come into a little bit of a seated fold, but take the hands behind you, lift your chest upright, and just from the hips, start to lean forward a little bit. Feel that gentle release through probably more of the hamstring and where it connects with the sit bone. But just take a moment to notice if there's a difference between the side you've already released and the side you haven't. Again, just using this middle right here, this hold of a stretch to kind of check in to see how you feel. And we're going to come into a longer yin posture later, but for now, just really using it to check in. And then slowly release, and we're just going to switch to the other side. So again, finding that spot right beneath the big part of the calf and before it turns into the Achilles, so the lower part. And then coming back to that just gentle rocking. And again, trying to soften as much as you can. So let go of any muscular tension that might be there. And let this feel really good, really nourishing, almost kind of decadent. And go ahead and pause and just start to point and flex the foot. Again, remembering the more body weight, the more intense. The less weight we have pushing into it, the less intense. And then hold, and just that gentle cross fibering side to side. And we're going to do that same thing now, but for the more meaty part of the calf muscle. So placing that ball right in the center of the gastrocnemius, or that big head of the calf muscle. And again, just finding that gentle rock back and forth. Now, for a lot of us who do a lot of our leg exercises, the calves get really, really tight. So remember, as much as you can, try to soften and try not to tense up and kind of defeat the purpose of what we're wanting to achieve here. And go ahead and hold, pin the ball down, and then just point and flex the foot. And then hold, and then again, just that gentle cross fibering side to side. And then slowly release. Go ahead and set these props off to the side. And we're going to come into our yin posture to target the back of the body. Not specifically the calf, but more hamstrings and low back, which is still part of that kinetic chain, which we were working with the calf. So coming into our caterpillar pose. So for this, I'll invite you to have your bolster, maybe a couple blankets or blocks handy as well if forward folds are a little intense or the back is really tight. But let your legs be really soft, really passive. So rather than an active, let it be really relaxed. And again, we're going to start the same way we did just for our check-in. So sit up nice and tall, hands behind you. Start to hinge from the hips until you feel that first initial tug through the hamstring and where it connects with your sit bones. Or maybe for you, it's the low back, anywhere along that back body chain. And then once you have that, keep that orientation exactly as it is and slowly start to fold by rounding your spine and bringing your forehead onto your prop. Whether that be just the bolster, whether that be the bolster in a blanket or the bolster in a block, whatever you've got handy. And we're going to be here for about 3 minutes. So really allow yourself to get comfortable here. We're really just trying to decompress that back body kinetic chain that runs from the plantar fascia all the way up through the back of the legs, through the back, connecting to the skull, and then landing right to about the front of the eyebrows. So it really connects your foot to your head. So this whole deep back line. And slowly start to focus on your breath. Notice if there's any muscular tension that you can let go, or muscular engagement. Or if you're not comfortable enough to sit into that stillness, make adjustments now so you can allow yourself to just stay still. And I'll be here for about 1 more minute. Take 1 more breath here. And walk your hands by your hips and really press into your hands to restack your vertebra 1 at a time. Slowly take apart your prop. Then lean back into the arms and just gently rock the legs out. We're going to stay working with this deep back line, but just for the sake of not having to maneuver the balls too much, when we come into the back and eventually the glutes, we're actually going to start now from the apex or the top and work our way down. So I'll invite you to grab both of your myofascial release balls and one of your blocks and just have those handy. And you can set your other stuff off to the side. If you're working in a limited space and you just have like the length of a yoga mat, I'll also invite you to come to the foot part of the yoga mat so we can slowly creep our way up. So we're going to come into the back of the traps first. So really anywhere this big chunk of meat at the apex of your shoulders that you can grab along that back side. So when you come to lay down, take 1 ball in your right hand and you're going to kind of off my mat here. There we go. And you'll go ahead and lift up your left shoulder and place the ball right behind the top of that shoulder. So when you place your hand on the top of the shoulder, you should be able to kind of still feel the top edge of the ball. So it's not down the shoulder quite yet, but it's right in that meaty part of the back of the trapezius. And then slowly lean to your left as you take your other ball underneath the right. And then take a moment just to see if it feels okay. It should feel like one of those really nice shoulder neck massage spots you love to get, or a lot of us love to get. Now, if this doesn't have a whole lot of intensity and you want just a little bit more, this is where your block can be really handy. You'll take your block oriented on its lowest setting and just lift your hips and slide that right underneath your sacrum and your tailbone. And that'll just give you a little bit more body weight into the upper trap. And if that's not enough, you need a little bit more, another option can be to just take your arms overhead. And that might be really nice too. So take a minute to kind of settle into what feels really inviting for you. Maybe try all 3 options and then go from there. And again, we're really wanting to use our MFR practice today to spark that relaxation So if you feel tense or something is not comfortable, please make an adjustment so you can really sink into that relaxation. And then once you found a spot that feels really comfortable and nourishing, bring that awareness back to your breath. Feel the body softening and relaxing. Every exhale, feel yourself surrendering a little bit more. Letting go of any tension or muscular engagement that you may notice. Take another breath here. Now before you move, I just want to let you know where we're going. I'm going to slowly, if we added the block underneath the sacrum, remove that first. And all we're going to do is press our feet into the floor, kick our hips up, and roll towards the top of our mat just 1 or 2 inches. So we're not really going very far. And the balls should kind of roll where they feel like they're right in the middle of your shoulder blades, and they should be kind of framing your spine there. And then the block is going to go behind the head, so we're not upsetting the cervical spine by letting it fall backwards. But right here, the sternum, the bony part of the upper chest, if I could draw a line through my body, the balls would be right behind my sternum. So not underneath your chest, not underneath the center of your chest or your bra strap, but really the sternum area. And then again, if you want a little bit of movement of the arms, just moving them in circles can be really nice. Or if you're like me and you're just craving stillness, allowing yourself to just settle into that stillness. And allowing the compression of the ball to really feel nice and nourishing. The ball should be just on one side or the other of the spine, so really they're framing the spine, so they're just about 1 inch to 2 inches apart from one another. It shouldn't feel like they're on the outside of the body. And if you ever feel any kind of sharp pain, it might be on a bone, so make any adjustments to let it feel more nourishing. Again, what we're really trying to target here is the erector spinae, these muscles that run from the hips to the base of your skull. These long, broad, ropey muscles. Even more than the body release, we're really trying to tap into that mental relaxation, that nervous system coming back to its homeostasis. First things first, we'll remove the block from behind the head, and you can set that off to the side. And then again, we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're just going to pick the hips up and move towards the top of our mat just a few inches. So again, not a huge movement. And now it should be kind of right in the middle of the shoulder blade. So it should feel like if I could draw a line from my chest through my back, that's exactly where it would be. Now, if this feels like a pulled back bend through the upper back, you can grab that block and place it behind your head again, if that feels more comfortable, or just let the head fall to the earth, whatever feels more comfortable for your body. And again, make any adjustments you might need if you feel like you're pushing into a bone, and that'll feel pretty sharp, pretty painful even. It's not necessarily going to do any damage. We can't do anything really to the bone, so it just doesn't feel good. Take one more breath here. And then release the block first. Again, set it off to the side. And we're just going to move down another 2 inches. So now if you were imagining kind of where the bottom of your sports bra would be, again, if we could draw a line through the body, that's where it would land. And if that doesn't make sense to you, what you really want is just kind of right in the middle of the rib cage. So it should kind of feel like this mid-belly back bend. And again, each ball just one on the other side of the spine. And keep bringing that awareness to your breath. This next one, you might want to just grab the balls from behind you, and we're going to place them anywhere in the lumbar curve, so that low back curve. So I personally like to just pick up my hips and place them right in the center of that lumbar curve, and then lower my body weight back onto them. A couple things we can do here: we can walk the feet out a little bit wider and let the knees knock together, and just hold nice and still. Or we can just find this gentle windshield wiper in the knee and get just that little bit of a massage through the low back. And again, anywhere in the low back region, anywhere that feels really good and relaxing to you. If you were moving, I invite you to come back into stillness. And go ahead and press the feet, lift your hips. We're going to slide the ball to the upper part of your glute. So not the bullseye part of your tush, but if you could feel the bone of the hip, the top of the bone there, that iliac crest, we're going to be right beneath it. So if you could divide your glute max, your butt cheek muscle, in half, we're going to be on the upper portion. And then again, maybe you want to stay still and maybe it'll feel really nice just to kind of gently knock the knees side to side. Again, still approaching it with this mindset of relaxing and nourishing the body. If you were moving, gently coming back to stillness. And now placing the balls right in the bullseye of the glute at the lower part. And that should feel really, really nice. And then again, maybe staying still or just finding a little gentle rocking. Even if you stay still, you'll notice as you inhale, there's just this gentle compression where it goes a little deeper. And then as you exhale, the muscle can just kind of soften around the prop. And take one more breath here. And then slowly remove the balls from underneath of you. Take a moment, extend your legs out straight. Just take a moment to notice how that back line of your body feels. We did a lot of work this week on this line. Just notice how it feels. Find that release. And we have 2 more spots along this line that we're going to target for class today. And for that, all you're going to need is one of your yoga blocks. I'll invite you to take that block and we're going to place it on its mid-setting right along the occipital bone. So it's kind of U or bottom shaped of the skull. So my neck is completely free. There's nothing under my neck. But the edge of this block is right along that bone of the base of my skull. And you'll feel it once you come onto your block. And then all we're going to do is encourage that imbibing or that rehydration again. Right? Letting the head be really heavy and just gently nodding the head side to side. You should kind of feel the bone there along the edge of the block just gently being massaged, more specifically the muscles that attach to this bone. Your splenius capitis and your semisplenius capitis. Extension of the erector spinae. And really let your head feel heavy here. Move nice and slowly, keeping that awareness on your breath. And slowly bring your head back to center. And lift your head enough just to remove the block, and then lay completely flat onto the floor. Again, take a moment just to notice how that feels. We talked about this back line running from the plantar of your foot all the way up your backside and landing into the forehead. So that's going to be our final spot. So however you want to get onto a child's pose position, if you want to roll onto your side, You just want to gently press yourself up. So bring your block with you. And we're going to place the edge of this block right on the muscle that's above your eyebrow. So coming into child's pose, placing right above the eyebrow along the ridge of that block. And then just like we did on the occipital bone in the back of the skull, finding that gentle rocking side to side. Letting that awareness settle on your breath. Feel the head heavy. So just gently slow this rocking down until you come back into stillness. Take 3 nice deep breaths here. And whenever you're ready, walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Use that to lift yourself up. Taking your time, knowing there's absolutely no rush. And once you're sitting upright, take a moment just to notice the effects of your practice. Hopefully the body feeling more relaxed, the mind more centered and calm. And take another round of deep breath. And then if you allow the eyes to close, slowly reopen them. Thank you so much for joining me for this MFR YIN style class. From my heart to yours. Be well.